Good morning and welcome to another Retro Brown Solo Run. Today we are doing a run with just an Ivysaur, middle stage evolution of the Bulbasaur line. And we haven't done anything from this line since the second video on my entire channel, so I'm a bit rusty on this one, but let's see how we do. Ivysaur's got a base stat total of 408, mostly in its special, which is pretty good considering we need the special moves really with the grass type. Decent speed, decent HP, it's all kind of middle of the road, kind of decent. But what is fantastic is we actually start off with Leech Seed, meaning we should actually head straight for Brock if we really want to. Our rival for today is Ben Edwards. Thank you for subscribing and I hope you enjoy this video. Let's get started. So, as I said, we get Leech Seed at level 1, which is fantastic, but it also means we don't get another move until level 13. Now if we really struggle on Brock, it actually would be worth our time to go and get Vine Whip, but I don't know, I think with just Leech Seed and stalling him out, we might actually do very, very well. We might lose some time via stalling, but I don't know. Getting up to level 13 will take a bit of time, and we'll probably use the same amount of time via the Leech Seed strat. I'm going to go with Bulba 2 for the name of our Ivysaur, because it's second stage evolution, and I'm not very creative today. So let's get started with the first rival battle. He's going to choose a Charmander, we're going to go straight for Leech Seed, and pretty much that means we're going to win the battle because he's always losing HP, we're always recovering HP, and he will never do enough damage to take us out. In fact, we're going to end with just about our full HP already. And we're at level 6 now, which means it's a good start to the video. If you can get that first rival fight in, it actually saves you quite a bit of hassle with trying to get up those levels. I mean, not too much for hassle, but still. In Viridian Forest, I actually I was going to miss all of them, but I ended up going against this bug trainer here. Now I thought, considering I've bumped into him, we've got Leech Seed, we should do alright here. Yeah, we can do alright. Leech Seed pretty much keeps us ticking along, but the fact that we're having to use the stall strats to be able to do this means we are losing quite a lot of time, and we will get to Bruno a lot slower than we were first anticipating. We're going to miss the Light Years trainer and we're going to go straight for Brock. Now, this will be completely RNG dependent. As long as we can use Growl and get their attack right down, Leech Seed will just do its work and we don't really need to worry too much. We can keep our HP high, we'll always be taking them down, and the worst thing that can really happen is we get screeched by the Onix, because then his tackles are going to do more, but as long as we can just keep Leech Seed up, we can keep growling. As you can see here, we didn't need Vine Whip whatsoever, it's just a bit of a lengthy battle, but Leech Seed is just such a good move in all honesty. But considering we didn't also get those levels up very early, when we come to the trainers just on the east of Pewter City, yeah, we actually are struggling a little bit with these to take them down pretty quickly, because we don't have that bulk behind us with getting up the levels, but it takes quite a lot of time to get them down. And one thing we should probably have a note about is the level up moveset. Now in the very early game of Pewter between Cerulean, we don't actually get any moves from TMs that are really worth our time. I mean, the major TMs that you get at this point in the game, you've got the likes of Mega Punch, you've got Water Gun, yeah, none of them we can actually learn, so to be fair, we're just going to have to struggle along with the moves that we do have, but if we didn't have Leech Seed, I genuinely don't think Ivysaur would be doing very, very well. Our Bulbasaur run was one of our very first runs on the channel, and in all honesty, the time that I got on that one was not very good because I was still learning the game, I was learning the best route to get through the game, so I was probably doing more battles than I was actually needing, and our final time ended up being over 7 hours, which I definitely think if I did it again these days, I would get maybe even 4 to 5 hours on that. Considering the Charmander and the Squirtle runs have both got quite good times, well, the Charmander especially got under 4 hours just for a first stage starter Pokemon. Yeah, I reckon if I did Bulbasaur again, we'd actually do a lot better. Now we've got into Cerulean, let's have a talk about Misty. We've got the type advantage here, but yeah, her tackles do a lot of damage and Leech Seed is not recovering enough for us to work really well. We managed to recover just enough for a final Vine Whip to get in, and at level 19 we take the Cerulean badge. That means we also get Bubble Beam as a TM, but it is also a move that we cannot use, so we're still plodding along with the same moves that we've had since Brock, pretty much. Now the rival is going to be a tough challenge. The major point of this Nugget Bridge rival fight is the fact that this Pidgeotto has Sand Attack, and he always leads with it, which is very annoying, but if you can get Leech Seed up on the Abra, you can recover your HP, but it's just going to take up some more time that we can't really afford to lose, especially if we want to go for a great time. This is the reason why Bulbasaur is not the speedrunner's choice when it comes to the starter Pokemon, neither with Charmander as well. It's the reason why Squirtle is the better one, because you just get better type matchups in the very early game. So when we finally recovered some HP, we can Vine Whip the Rattata, and we're finally onto the Charmander again. Vine Whip is strangely still going to be our best move. We need to get set up a Leech Seed to recover some HP just on the chip. And Tackle, it's doing around about the same as Vine Whip and it's not resisted. But we take a first time win pretty much down to the levels, and we can move on to the SSM where we can pick up our first TM, which of course, say it with me, is my favourite one of Gen 1, TM08 Body Slam. Just a fantastic move. 85 base power, 100% accuracy at this point in the game, with the chance to paralyse. Yeah, we're taking this move. It is fantastic, and it'll probably stay with us for the majority of this run. So let's go against the rival on the SSN. It's the next big fight, and we cannot progress without beating this guy. We've now picked up Poison Powder, which isn't really the one that we want, but if we really were going to go for stall strats, Poison Powder, Leech Seed, great combination. The fact you can set up Leech Seed and Poison Powder at the same time is just, it's really, really good. We bring ourselves to the Charmeleon, who brings us down to 1 HP, and unfortunately we do take an L here with the Ember hitting us. Second time round, we aren't going to try and stall. We're just going to go full offensive here with Body Slam, because it can pretty much nearly take out the Kadabra in one shot. If we got the paralysis on Charmeleon, that is lucky, meaning we can now outspeed and take the win, because Charmeleon is a little bit quicker than us. But that means we can now also move on to Lieutenant Surge, and we've got the type resistance here. So we're just going to pretty much Body Slam our way through. He's going to try and raise his speed with X speed, but we take him down after paralysing him. Pikachu and Raichu got pretty average defences. Pikachu's is pretty shit. But that means we can move on. And then we could get Thunderbolt, which of course we can't use as well. Rock Tunnel, considering we're grass type, there's a lot of Pokemon that are weak to grass type moves. Not really worth covering. We got through pretty quickly. And we can move on to Lavender Tower with the fourth rival fight. Because fourth rival fight by this point would have been the 5th if we'd gone to the west of Viridian. And we're tearing through his team at level 30. It's kind of, he hasn't really improved his team too much from the SSN. The biggest addition has been the Gyarados though, which, with being a water flying type, is resisted to our grass type attacks. We take a win and move on to Celadon. And we're going to go straight into the Rocket Hideout here. If we can clear this out quickly and get a couple more levels, then I reckon that Erica will be that bit easier. Once we've discovered the base, we can now play around on the tiles as normal, which I'm genuinely only showing this part in the last few videos because I just find these tiles so fun. It was the best part of the Rocket side quests in Gen 1, was these panels. Giovanni goes down without any problem whatsoever. His Kangs can't even... He just throws the fight by putting himself into rage. And our Ivysaur now tries to evolve, but we're not going to let it. It's an Ivysaur run. And we can dig out of here very quickly and head on to Erica. Now Erica, the best thing about going into this with a grass type, Sleep Powder shouldn't hit us. So we can just use Body Slam at our leisure, take down the Victory Bell. And a couple more Body Slams just take out the Tangela and the Vileplume. It's a very easy fight with an Ivysaur, regardless of your level, I would say, because pretty much every attack they have is pretty much resistant. If not, it's a Bind or it's a Constrict on the Tangela, which doesn't do much whatsoever. We then go into Lavender Tower and clear out the rockets, meaning we can open up the game a lot more fully now. So once we've beaten the rockets, we will pick up the Poké Flute from Mr. Fuji. And this is where we can choose where we go to Silph Core or we go over to Fuchsia City. Now, considering we do have the type resistance at Fuchsia City, it might be the way to go. But I'm going to go to Saffron City first, and we'll see how we do in Silvercore. So even if we can clear out a little bit of the way to go, pick up the elixir by this tree, then we should also clear a lot of the game. It is faster to go through Silvercore and then go to Fuchsia. Because if you go through Saffron, then you can go beat Sabrina. But the biggest challenge in Silvercore is, of course, Rival 5. Or as J Rose likes to call him, Rival 5. And there, right there, the Pidgeot starting off is the big issue. We've now put growth on our moveset, so if we want to utilise the badge boost glitch, we can. The Execute can't really do anything against us, and Leech Seed won't work because it's a grass type Pokemon, and grass type moves like that don't affect grass type Pokemon. So we can set up all of our growths, meaning that the badge boost glitch has been invoked, but it also means that we haven't got the certain badges for certain stat increases. So we get through the Gyarados, get through the Alakazam, and we're on 1 HP going into the Charizard, which it does take us down our 1 HP. Next try though, we go up to level 42. This should give us a little bit more to work with, and we got a little bit more HP to work with going into the Execute. We set up our growths, we get the paralysis on the Execute, and a couple of body slams takes it down. Next up, we're going to seed that Gyarados because we want to try and get a little bit of HP back, but annoyingly, it does use Dragon Rage, and we're really whittling down on HP here. One Ember only does 12 damage at this range with the badge boosts, meaning we beat Rival 5 at level 43, which is a bit higher than I was wanting to be, but we have got one Pokemon against his 5, and not a great type advantage really. Giovanni at this stage is starting to get a bit more difficult. The fact he's added poison types onto his team, that really kind of scuppers our strategy, because we can't learn any we can't learn Earthquake, we can't learn any Psychic type moves apart from Reflect and Rest, which are not attacking moves. And that brings us through to the Kangaskhan and the Rhyhorn. Both go down pretty quickly once we set up our growths, but the Nidoqueen is a bit of a challenge. It's going to take 2 Razor Leafs to take it down, and we have saved Silphcore. So at this point I could go on to Koga, but it makes more sense to heal up and go against Sabrina first, as we will save more time this way, and we have lost quite a lot of time by using stalling strats. The worst thing about this gym, Psychic type is super effective against poison types. So what we're going to need to do, we're going to need to increase our speed or increase our special. And I opt for speed here. Our special is pretty decent, we do hit quite hard, but getting a few more points in speed will probably help us out. I did try Sabrina a couple more times here, but it didn't really work out, so I'm going to go over to Koga and we'll go and get a few more levels over this way. We do the bike glitch where you don't actually need to go and pick up the bike to get onto the bike road, and we go against Koga. So I went into this fight not even at full HP because Leech Seed actually does affect his Pokemon. So that means we can get back little bits of HP as we're setting up, and his attacks are doing less and less each time. Once we fully set up though, we're on 21 HP going into the muck. And here at level 46 we can finally learn probably the best move we can get on this run, and we're going to get rid of Leech Seed for this. Sleep Powder is easily the best move that we can learn. If we outspeed, Gen 1 sleep mechanics are weird, so the turn that they wake up, they can't attack, whereas in every other generation they can. We were very unlucky on this attempt, and he did wake up. This brings us to the second attempt. We're going to set up our growths as quick as possible against the Coffin. Leech Seed just keeping us ticking along quite a nice amount of HP. About a third left, not one of his moves could take us out in one from here. And once we've fully set up, we've got 60 HP, we've learned Sleep Powder. This should be enough to get us through the rest of the fight. He goes for an X attack on the Muck, meaning we can get 2 Razor Leafs in. And then we Sleep Powder the Coffin. 2 Razor Leafs will then take that down. And finally, the last Weezing. He goes for an X attack and Sleep Powder hits. Meaning, oh no, he's just woke up. There we go. He's back to sleep. we just kept waking up. Wow, that was really back and forth, that fight. If we'd missed a sleep powder there, we would have easily lost to the likes of a self-destruct. Well, there's nowhere else we can go right now. We could surf down to the Cinnabar, but it's quicker to go back over to Saffron City, and we can go and lose to Sabrina again. We're 8 levels above her Kadabra, and that one lead has just given us a real problem. Sleep powder just keeps on missing. And that's because it's only got 95% accuracy in Gen 1. In later generations it's 75, I think. But finally, when we can get them to sleep, we've set up growths, we can body slam our entire way through the fight. This is why sleep powder and growth is a great combination. It increases your special, because of the badge boost as well, it increases pretty much every other stat. And we take a third time win against Sabrina. And now, yeah, the one gym leader I was not looking forward to having to go against here. So, we're going against Blaine. We're going to set up our growths pretty much as soon as possible after we've put them to sleep, and that means we should be able to sweep from here. I don't really enjoy using the badge boost glitch all too much, but for fights like this, I'd probably have to go up to level 55 to even make this possible. Because that's how quickly a Fire Blast can take us down, even when we've badge boost. Critical hits do ignore all badge boost glitch. So yeah, we need to get them to sleep as quick as possible. We need to set up our growths, and as long as they are keeping asleep, we should be fine. As long as that, as long as the Arcanine does not use Fire Blast on us again, yeah, we should be okay. And we nearly got trapped by a Fire Spin there. That would have been deadly. So we used Ember. Right, he's asleep. We can body slam our way through, and he thankfully keeps asleep, and Ivysaur takes the 7th badge. There's not really too many other moves that we could go and learn. Mimic would be a good one. Swords Dance would be pretty sweet as well, but I don't think there's any point in us getting Solar Beam in this fight. Pretty much, as I've said on multiple videos, I'm not a big fan of 2-turn moves. The only exception to that really is Fly, because there's not many good flying type moves in Gen 1. But Solar Beam being a 2-turn move, and there's no Sunny Day in this generation, yeah, I feel like it's pretty much one of the worst grass type moves in this generation. Razor Leaf is probably one of the better ones. Mega Drain, fantastic move, even though it's only got 40 base power. It has saved me on so many of my solo runs. Giovanni was not a problem whatsoever. Pretty much all of his Pokemon, bar the Nidoking and Queen, were weak to grass type moves, but we had Body Slam for them. Let's move on to Rival 6. And as long as we can get that Pidgeot to sleep, we should be good as gold here. So we can set up our growths, keep it asleep, and when we're finally at 6 growths, we can Body Slam our way through. Pidgeot did play ball there and stayed asleep, and it just shows how quickly we can move through all of these Pokemon. Now this is a weird one. If you're the same type as the move that's being used, like Poison Powder or Leech Seed won't hit grass type Pokemon, but Sleep Powder will. I think that's a weird little mechanic. It's not consistent, but I'm also very, very glad that it isn't consistent, because otherwise we had nothing for that execute. The Charizard wakes up and uses Flamethrower, but because of our growths increasing our special, it's not doing all too much. We get burnt, so we're on a clock here, and we get down to the very last hit with 14 HP while we're burned, and Ivysaur beats the Charizard. Very, very close, and we are finally at the Elite Four with Ivysaur. The very first trainer up is an Ice type trainer, well, Ice and Water type trainer, which isn't great for us because we are weak to Ice. As long as we can get our growth set up and we can outspeed, we should be okay. And we take down the Dugong. Okay, that's the first. Oh, we get hit by Aurora Beam, but because of the growth set up, it doesn't do all that much, and Sleep Powder just decides not to hit for about 3 turns. But when it does, it just does tons of damage. Now, I should ideally be using Mega Drain here instead of Razor Leaf. Reason why? Razor Leaf crits a lot, and when you crit, the badge boost glitch doesn't come into effect. So Mega Drain in this instance is actually the better move to be using, because 1, it recovers your HP, 2, with the badge boost increase it will do more than Razor Leaf. At least by my calculations it should be doing more than Razor Leaf. So I'm not actually going into this with the best strategies. Reason why I've kept Razor Leaf though is because there are going to be some fights where maybe it is not the right move to be setting up the badge boost glitch. Next up of course will be Agatha, and if she's using Nightshade, that it forgoes any stat increases, it just does set damage every single time. So ideally the most important move for the next fight is going to be Sleep Powder. The other weird thing about this, I'm going into this with Razor Leaf, which is resistant to Ghost and Poison, as far as I'm aware. I think it's resistant to Ghost. Either way, we need some insane luck to be able to get through this fight. And you know what? I am very impressed that I've managed to get to this point in the game at level 53, but again, we are badge boost glitching, which means if you look at the difference between a badge boost glitch run versus a non-badge boost glitch run, the level, you don't really need as many levels in the badge boost glitch run, because you are increasing your stats exponentially and all of your stats at once. Whereas if you don't do that, you're going to need those extra stats. We forego learning Solar Beam because we've got more PP on Razor Leaf. This is another reason why I chose to use Razor Leaf, because Mega Drain's only got 10 PP. Razor Leaf's got 25, meaning we've got more chances to hit, and considering we're not doing too much damage against these ghost types, yeah, we need all the PP we can get here, which is a weird thing to say. We get down to 7 HP against the Arbok, and it takes us down with a bite. It wakes up. I thought the Body Slam would just be enough, but unfortunately not. But what it does show me is this fight is possible. If we get the right luck, right strategy, we should be able to take down her entire team. We need to make sure those sleeps work and we get the growth set up. Because even though Razor Leaf has a high chance to crit, it actually doesn't crit every single time. Ooh, we get confused, that's not good. Gengar is back to sleep and we are Razor Leafing our way through. It has a very high chance, but as you saw there, Razor Leaf didn't crit and did a hell of a lot more than the crit version. That's because, like I said earlier, critical hits forego any badge boost glitch, whereas if you don't crit, then of course you're going to do more damage because you've got higher stats on that attack. Next up is the Golbat. We're going to Body Slam it down, and 4 Body Slams takes it out. Sleep Powder on the Haunter, and it's going to be around about 6 hit to take it down, but she switches into our Arbok and we manage to get it to sleep. This time the Arbok goes down and we're back onto the Haunter. We've only got 2 Pokemon left. And I'm really impressed that we can also outspeed all these, but again, as I said with the badge boost glitch, it is that broken. When you've badge boost glitched, even your speed increases. So yeah, we haven't got many uses of Razor Leaf left, so what we're going to have to do, we're going to have to make sure we don't get critical hits here. So when we take down the Haunter, we are onto the final Gengar. We get it to sleep, we Razor Leaf, and finally we take down that Gengar. Finally we take down the Gengar. Sorry for the pauses there. That brings us on to the final Elite Four member, Lance the Dragon Trainer. And yeah, we don't have a great matchup here. He doesn't have any ice type moves, but he does have very powerful one-hit KO moves. At least that's what I seem to class the... Oh, I did not realise on this attempt that I had paralysed the Gyarados. I was thinking, why is Sleep Powder not working? Oh, yeah, Body Slam paralysed. That's the reason why you also need to get them asleep before you start using Body Slam. So let's try this again, and let's pay a bit more attention. We're going to Sleep Powder on the Gyarados, wakes up straight away, and as soon as it is asleep, we'll set up our growths, put it back to sleep when needed, and as soon as we're at 6 growths, we will start sweeping this team. I say sweeping, at least doing a bit better against it. We're at 56 HP going into the Gyarados. Oh, into the Dragonair. and Razor Leaf is just not doing much. I'm trying to conserve the Body Slam PP for the Dragonite. And because we're a Poison type Pokemon, a Grass Poison type Pokemon, the Dragonairs and the Dragonites are only going to use Psychic type moves, which on their moveset is Agility. And this is good AI in Gen 1. Basically, yeah, we lost there. If they've got a move on their moveset which is a super effective type against you, they will use that in certain fights. Lance is one of them, but it also means that we can cheese the AI here, because pretty much they will only use Agility against us, because the AI deems Psychic type move means it's super effective, means the optimum move to use. But considering it's Agility and all it does is raise its speed, it's useless. They will never attack us. And that gives us 3 very easy Pokemon on this fight, where the Gyarados and the Aerodactyl are the only threats that we need to worry about. The Aerodactyl probably more than the other, because wow, that did a lot of damage. But we're finally through to the Dragonite, and this is just going to be a bit of a slog to try and take it down. He wakes up, and we've just got to try and get through this with what PP we have left. We've got 6 Body Slams, and he does also have full restores. Hyper Potions, that's the one. So we've run out of all of our Body Slams, and we have to now rely on Razor Leaf. He won't use another Hyper Potion as far as I'm aware. He only has 1. But as you can see here, it is taking a very long time. We are down to 12 Razor Leaf users, and it should be more than enough to take down the Dragonite. Annoyingly, if we weren't critting so much, we would be doing a hell of a lot more damage. But we take a second time win, and that brings us to the final fight. Ben Edwards, give us a good final fight here. So, first up, of course, is Pidgeot. We Sleep Powder, we Growth, well actually, you know what? This Pidgeot is going to be a bit of a chore. We'll set up 1 Growth, 2 Growths, and we'll put it back to sleep. Yeah, basically, I forgot that I was supposed to be Badge Boost glitching to give ourselves the best chance in this fight, and I went straight for Body Slam starting off. So, once we've set up our Growths, Body Slam will now do tons more damage. We do outspeed the Alakazam, but here we also missed. When we can finally beat it down with Body Slam, we are then onto the Rhydon. 1 Razor Leaf should be more than enough to take it out, even with a crit. And now comes the biggest challenge, is the Executor. Yeah, the Executor is probably one of the bigger challenges when you're a Grass type against a Grass type, because it's bulky, we don't have super effective moves, and yeah, thankfully in this attempt we did do pretty well. We got it down with 3. Wow, Gyarados, thanks for that. Okay, I've done that whole spiel about Executor being the most dangerous Pokemon. I think I need to change that to Gyarados here. In normal circumstances, Grass type should be winning against a Water type, but that Flying type gives Gyarados such an advantage. Like, genuinely, a lot of people go and say, oh, Psychic types are the most powerful, Steel types are the most powerful, Fairy types are the most powerful, Dragon types are the most powerful. In that top 5, I would honestly put Flying type myself. Like, yes, them 4 types are really powerful, but in the top 5 powerful types, genuinely I would say Flying type is one of the most powerful types. Just for the variation, the resistances it has, like, yeah, I'd say it's a very powerful type. I mean, look at the Pokemon you got in the later generations. You got, well, all the legendary birds are Flying type because the birds. Rayquaza is a Dragon Flying. The Landorus, Thundurus, all of them are Flying types. A lot of very powerful Pokemon have that Flying type. Even Gyarados as well, like, very, very powerful Pokemon. Very well used throughout the years. And anyway, I'll stop talking about the Flying type. Hey, even Charizard's a Flying type. We're finally through to the final Pokemon. We get him asleep, we Body Slam our way through, and our level 57 Ivysaur takes the Hall of Fame crown. That was quite a fun run. When I first did the Bulbasaur run ages ago, I struggled a lot, but that was because I was still getting used to the game. Going back in with the second stage evolution at 4 hours and 5 minutes, wow, 3 hours better than Bulbasaur. I'm very happy with that. Very, very happy with that. That was a fun run. I recommend it. Let's see what we get next time on the wheel. First up, of course, we're going to have Ormastar. We've done the Omanyte run, Lord Helix. It might be a fun one to do. Next up, we have Poliwrath. I really enjoyed the Poliwag run. That did so well compared to what I was imagining. Poliwrath should do even better. Third up, we have Pikachu, the mascot of the Pokemon series. You know what? I think I'm going to go with Ormastar. Yeah, let's go with Cthulhu. Let's see how we do with that one. If you got to this point in the video, guys, please yank that like and subscribe, you legends. And we will see you in the next video with an Ormastar only run. Take care.